Fall semester somehow has already come and gone, with students heading home after finals week wrapped up. But before the Bearcats headed out, 4 of its student athletes will be heading home with some new hardware. First, Svetlana Ilieva earning AVCA All-Region honors for the 3rd year in a row. Binghamton superstar named to the first team this season. This after being named honorable mention in the previous 2 seasons. Svet was also the 2024 America East Player of the Year, that for the last 3 seasons as well, and she was first team All-Conference. Ilieva is 3rd in the program in kills and top 10 in a handful of other statistical categories. Wrestling's Brevin Casella also being recognized, the 174-pounder, named the EIWA Wrestler of the Week. Casella finished 5-2 over the weekend, placing 5th overall at the Cliff Keen Invite. 4 of his 5 wins on the mat in Vegas, those also coming against ranked opponents. And 2 members of the indoor track and field team also taking the America East Athlete of the Week award home. Brian Luciano and Jenna Chan named Men and Women's Athlete of the Week respectively. Luciano and Chan were first-place finishers at the Cornell Gregg Cage Relays. Luciano in the hammer throw and Chan in the 16-meter hurdles. And